Both Fitzgerald in The Great Gatsby and Greenfield with the photos for Generation Wealth present the wealth and privilege that certain individuals have. They both portray their views on people who are wealthy, but using different techniques. I think that Greenfield views wealth and power as being a bad thing, and that it has negative impacts on people since they are reckless with their money, whereas Fitzgerald is trying to portray his views on income inequality as being a problem in society. In text 1, which is also a photo taken by Greenfield, you can see a woman in what seems like a hotel room on her bed with breakfast, and her face is covered in bandages. This photo was taken in 2017 by Greenfield for the documentary Generation Wealth. The photos which were taken are meant to show the extreme measures taken to acquire and spend money in today's society. Greenfield uses the woman's gaze in order to direct your attention towards her face, since she's staring directly at the camera, which could perhaps imply that she wants help and attention. You then start to notice that her face is covered in bandages, and it seems that she has had plastic surgery, which could represent her desire to look the ideal way because of the pressure that society has placed upon her in order to look a certain way. This could possibly represent her wealth, because it could imply that she has the time and money in order to alter the way she looks because of the pressure from society. This could portray the wealth that she has because plastic surgery is expensive and it takes a very long time in order to recover. After looking at her face, you then start to realize the massive breakfast of what looks like a pie, fruits, soup, and a smoothie, which is being served for her on a massive tray. This portrays her privilege, since she hasn't had to make it herself, and it seems like she expects someone else to have made it for her. Greenfield also portrays wealth in one of her photos of a woman in a bedroom swinging a golf club. Our attention is naturally drawn to the golf club, perhaps because we can see that it is slightly moving, and we can see that she's busy swinging it. You then start to notice the objects in the background, which are golden and white, which portrays them as being very expensive. This could portray her wealth, because it seems that even if she breaks something by swinging the golf club, it doesn't matter to her, since she can just easily replace it. I think that by doing this, Greenfield is showing that people with a lot of money can be very reckless, and I think that they think that whatever they do has no consequences because they are wealthy and powerful individuals, which is a negative opinion from Greenfield. Text 2 is an extract from The Great Gatsby, which was written in the 1920s by Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald uses a polysyndeton in order to replay Gatsby's privilege and wealth. Fitzgerald says that the servants and gardeners have to use mops and scrubbing brushes and hammers and garden shears. The constant usage of the word "and" emphasizes the amount of work that the 8 servants and 1 gardener have to do in order to repair the damage Gatsby had caused from the night before because of his party. This portrays both Gatsby's wealth and privilege, since he needs so many people to do so much work and repair all the damage, which gives the impression that his house or property is very large and expensive, which portrays him as a very wealthy individual. It also portrays his privilege, since it seems normal it almost seems normal for the servants and gardener to repair the damage on Mondays, as if he expects them to do it every time, whilst he perhaps sleeps in his room. Fitzgerald also uses listing to present Gatsby's wealth. Fitzgerald describes the buffet table as being garnished with glistening hors d'oeuvre, spiced baked hams crowded against salads of harlequin. In this quotation, the word glistening is used to describe the food, which portrays it as being perfectly prepared, and also portrays Gatsby as a very wealthy individual who only seems to eat food of the best quality. The final way in which Fitzgerald presents Gatsby's wealth and privilege is by using a syndeton. Fitzgerald says that laughter is easier minute by minute, spilled with prodigality. In this quotation, a quite interesting word is used, which we can zoom in on. The word prodigality means excessive or wasteful spending, which is often with an eye towards the luxurious. This portrays Gatsby's wealth perfectly, because he seems to be spending an excessive amount of money on these lavish parties that he has every weekend, giving the impression that he is a very rich and wealthy individual. I think that Fitzgerald is trying to portray income inequality using Gatsby as a very wealthy individual and making it seem almost unfair that he's able to afford all these lavish things in his life. All in all, both Greenfield and Fitzgerald portray wealth and privilege using different techniques. By presenting wealth and privilege the way she does, Greenfield is trying to portray how rich people are reckless with their money and that they think that whatever they do doesn't have consequences, showing the negative impacts of being very wealthy. Meanwhile, Fitzgerald is trying to portray the issues and unfairness of income inequality in society through Gatsby.